I chose TCU because I was from Texas. My parents wanted me to stay in Texas. And then it was just the perfect fit because it was a small school, but it was in a bigger town, like bigger than Waco, but it wasn't like a Dallas, Houston kind of feel. Freshman year, I came in. I've always been like a very social person and made friends like very easily. So freshman in the beginning of sophomore year, I was just very rowdy, went out quite a bit, drank quite a bit, and yeah, so I was just your typical frat boy, like wearing jerseys and, as Tristan said, New Balances and white high socks. And so yeah, you could definitely catch me at every single day party and probably going out at least 5 or 6 nights a week. The first time I came out was to Liza, who has been one of my best friends. She's a Pi Phi here. It was one night, we were all drinking, we were going out, and I got into an altercation with one of my older fraternity brothers. And so like fists were thrown and it was just aggressive. So in the heat of the moment, like I was very upset about it. I had just gotten hit in the face, like, and so I was talking to her about it and it just kind of just came out. So when it comes to my family, the first person I told was my sister-in-law, Wesley, who is married to my oldest brother. And she was really cool about it. I knew I could confide in her because she's like your typical just girly, like cheerleader kind of girl. And so I told her, whom told my brother. And then, yeah, so I told my parents next. And my parents were actually the ones that told my other brother and my little sister because they had like a family meeting about their psycho son at TCU that is telling everyone he's choosing to be gay. So yeah, I didn't actually get to tell the rest of my siblings. Freshman year and sophomore year, I could always just ask my parents for more allowance or if I needed just really anything and I was low on money, I could just text them and all of a sudden I had money in my account. So it wasn't a big deal. I think that it also contributed to the fact that I did go out a lot. I drank a lot, went to dinner a lot, that kind of thing. So when I came out, it was a big shock because they like took my debit card off of their account and canceled it. And it was on a Waco bank account, so I couldn't really do anything about it. And then I just had no money all of a sudden. It was the end of the year. I didn't have any campus cash or frog bucks. So I just all of a sudden had $0, and that's where Tristan's parents like really stepped in. They like would buy extra groceries so I could eat at their house, or she paid for my gas, like asked me if I needed anything, like things like that.
My name is Kate Wall. I am from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I came to TCU because I wanted to kind of get out of Baton Rouge, but my dad came here, so it was kind of like a home away from home type situation. So I've always felt very comfortable here. Early February, I got a call saying that I needed to go home and that my mom had collapsed, and I went home and she passed away that day. So it was kind of a difficult time to be in that period, I guess, of kind of like being 18 and everything so new in college and things like that. And then it kind of came to like a screeching halt. But then I came back to TCU 2 weeks later, just kind of threw myself back into everything. And then I was at TCU for 2 weeks after that, and then I went to Gulf Shores, Alabama for my spring break. And that was where I met Devin. And we knew each other kind of through mutual friends. And I introduced myself to him. I went to this house where I knew no one, and he was a familiar face. So I went and I introduced myself, and he was just, oh my gosh, like so excited to meet me and come in, can I get you something to eat? Like, it was just like the nicest person I had ever met. And I had never like really like clicked with someone right off the bat like that. I came back. I remember coming back from spring break, and I had like the biggest crush on him. And I really don't know why, because he was kind of like grimy, but he was just like very intriguing to me. And I had a friend who would study together with him for like his statistics class. And I remember texting my friend and saying like, oh, like, how is studying going? Like, is he talking about me and things like that? And she told me that they had brought up our sorority formal and how he was saying he really wanted me to ask him. He really wanted me to ask him. He loved our conversation in Gulf Shores, and he wanted to get to know me better. And so I, of course, was freaking out like the crazy person I am, just over the moon. And so we ended up like spending like the entire night at formal together. And that was kind of the start, I guess, of what was a very long on and off relationship with him. So one day it got just to be a little too much for both of us. And so I kind of called him one day and made this huge dramatic deal about how I just couldn't stand it anymore and we just needed to end things for good. And it was really difficult because he 100% was one of my best friends ever. We had gotten so close through the whole thing. And so it was just very hard to try to cut all those ties off, I guess. But he was very understanding, and he, you know, we were both very sad about it, but we decided it had to happen. So we stopped talking, and that lasted for about a month. So we met up and we went on a walk around campus, and he immediately just was completely overcome with emotion. And I had never seen him cry before, so it was and we had gone through a lot of hard, heavy stuff together, so it was very new for me to see him that upset and emotional. And I just remember him saying, I don't think that I'm going to come back to TCU next year. And I was quiet because I just knew he had more to say. And he was like, because I came out to my parents and they are cutting me off.
I just kind of called her one day and was like, hey, let's go on a walk. And then I just kind of told her. And I think at that point she was almost so like emotionally drained from dealing with me and having a relationship with me that she was almost kind of, she was very accepting. I felt like she was almost like happy in a way, happy for me that I was comfortable to come out, and she, you know, she was happy in that way. But I think she was also happy in the extent that, hey, this like explains so much. Like, I think it just helped her self-confidence also. Like, it was a good thing for both of us.
I guess he's very lucky that I'm a person who can take jokes and does not take anything very seriously, because I think if it was any other person, they would have just wanted to kill him. I mean, I just kind of learned how to laugh it off and even start telling people like, oh yeah, like this is my best friend who's gay, but who is also my ex-boyfriend. Like, you know, and kind of make it like a joke. And people started to kind of be like, oh, you know, it's fine. But some people just could not wrap their minds around it and were wondering all these questions like, how did you not know? And why are you still friends with him? And, you know, all these things. And I don't know, it's hard to pinpoint, I don't know why I stuck around and things like that, but he's stuck around a lot for me. You kind of start to see a different side of people when something comes out that makes people uncomfortable, you know, and for some people that's homosexuality, right? So it's like they knew Devin as this awesome bro, you know, straight guy who was in a fraternity and stuff like that, and all of a sudden they were having to like meet this different side of him. And not only were they kind of taking it out on him, but they were taking it out on me and Tristan and, you know, people who were very close to him, because it's a very uncomfortable thing for some people. And that kind of surprised me to like know these people for 2 years that I knew them at TCU, and all of a sudden they were acting very weird to me and acting very weird to Devin. So it was interesting to kind of find, you know, people's different sides, I guess.
So when I came out, my parents' reaction and my family members' reactions made me just very like depressed, very genuinely upset. I just really just felt so sad about it. And then as time progressed and my friends were kind of there for me, and I really saw that my parents' opinion on it and my parents' outlook was just completely false to most people's, I really just became like very just pissed off at them. Like my sadness turned into more of like a fuck you kind of attitude. Like if they called, I didn't answer. There was no point, because at that point in time their phone calls and text messages were just incredibly mean and just said very hurtful things. So yeah, I just kind of got this new outlook on life that was very like I can do it on my own kind of attitude. Like I got a job at Press Cafe, I started making my own money, started paying for my own things, and so I really thought it was like a growing experience for me, because I mean I really just grew up. Like I became an adult in that situation that was no longer completely dependent on like mommy and daddy and their money. So I do want to apologize to Kate. We all know that I put her through a lot in that whole situation, but I'm very thankful for what came out of it, because we are now BFFs.
Yeah.
For a long time. We've been best friends.
I think we always kind of knew that
We vibed.
we loved each other. We just didn't know in what way. And now we know that we love each other as like brother and sister. Because he likes boys.
She also likes boys.
We both like boys, and it's
Oh my
something we
God.
can bond about now.
So now we are just BFFs.